Hello students, today we are going to discuss the key concepts related to our today's topic, that is solutions. A solution can be defined as a homogeneous mixture of two or more chemically non-reacting substances. Now all the solutions exhibit certain common properties. The first one, its composition can be varied within certain limits. Let's take the example of a salt solution. A salt solution can be prepared by adding 2 grams of salt in 100 ml of water. Similarly, it can also be prepared by adding 3 grams of salt in 100 ml of water. In both the cases, it will remain the salt solution. The second property is all particles in a solution are generally of molecular size. 0.2 to 2 nanometer is generally considered as the molecular size. The third property commonly exhibited by solutions is that the components of a solution generally cannot be separated by filtration, settling, or centrifugation. These are some of the physical methods of separation. A solution consists of two components. First is the solute and second is the solvent. The component which is present in larger proportion is termed as the solvent. It is usually in the same physical state as the solution. And the component which is present in smaller proportion is known as the solute. We just discussed the example of salt solution. The salt which is present in smaller proportion, that is 2 or 3 grams, is the solute in that case, and water which is present in larger proportion, that is around 100 ml, is the solvent in that case. Now the solvent and the solution both are in the same physical state, that is liquid. A solution can be classified as solid, liquid, or gaseous solution depending on its physical states. We'll discuss these types of solutions one by one. The first type of solutions that we are going to discuss are the gaseous solutions. In a gaseous solution, the physical state of the solvent is gas and the solute can be gas, liquid, or solid. The first type of gaseous solutions are the gas in gas solutions. That is, the solute is a gas and the solvent is a gas as well. Its most common example is air. Nitrogen, which is present in large proportion, can be considered as the solvent, and other gases which are present in smaller proportion, for example oxygen or carbon dioxide, can be considered as solute. The second type of gaseous solution are the liquid in gas solutions. That is, liquid is the solute and solvent is a gas. For example, mist, in which tiny droplets of water hang in the air. The third type of gaseous solutions are the solid in gas solutions, in which a solid solute is dissolved in gaseous solvent. For example, camphor wafers in nitrogen. The second type of solutions are the liquid solutions. The physical state of the solvent is liquid and the solute can be gas, liquid, or solid. So depending on that condition, there can be three types of liquid solutions. First is gas in liquid solutions. That is, gas is the solute and the solvent is in liquid state. Its example is any gas dissolved in water, for example oxygen in water or carbon dioxide in water, as in the case of aerated water. Second type of liquid solutions are liquid in liquid solutions, in which the liquid is solute as well as a solvent. Its example can be ethanol dissolved in water or vinegar, formalin, etc. The third type of liquid solutions are the solid in liquid solutions, in which solid solute is dissolved in liquid solvent. For example, sugar in water or the salt solution we recently discussed. The next type of solutions are the solid solutions, in which the physical state of the solvent is solid and the solute can be gas, liquid, or solid. So the first type is gas in solid solutions, in which gas is the solute and the solvent is in solid state. Its example can be hydrogen in palladium. The second type is liquid in solid solutions, in which liquid solute is dissolved in solid solvent. Its example is amalgams such as sodium amalgam, in which mercury is in liquid state, which is dissolved in sodium, which is solid. Third type of solid solutions are solid in solid solutions. For example, alloys, in which both the solute and the solvent are solid. Gold ornaments are also its examples, in which copper or silver is dissolved in gold. There are various methods for expressing the concentrations of solution. For example, molarity, molality, mole fraction, mass percentage, volume percentage, parts per million. We have discussed some of these methods in our earlier chapters as well. We'll again discuss them one by one. The first method that we are going to discuss is molarity. Molarity can be defined as the number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution. It is denoted by capital M. We can write the general formula of molarity as M is equal to number of moles of solute, which can be denoted by a small n, divided by volume of solution in liters, denoted by capital V. Now we know that number of moles of solute is equal to weight of solute in grams divided by the molecular weight of the solute. On replacing this value in the formula of molarity, we obtain capital M, that is molarity, is equal to weight of solute in grams divided by molecular weight of solute into 1 divided by volume of solution in liters. Now we know that this part, that is the weight of solute in grams divided by volume of solution in liters, is the expression of strength of the solution. So we can write molarity is equal to strength divided by molecular weight of the solute. So if we know the molarity of a solution and the molecular weight, we can easily calculate the strength of the solution. Now, although molarity is the most common way of expressing concentration of a solution in a lab, it has one disadvantage. The value of molarity changes with temperature because volume of a solution alters due to expansion and contraction of the liquid along with change in temperature. Let's take an example. A solution is made by dissolving 10 grams of H2SO4 in enough water to make 100 ml of solution. We have to find out the molarity of sulfuric acid. Now it's given to us that weight of sulfuric acid is equal to 10 grams. Its molecular weight is equal to 98.07 grams. So we can calculate the number of moles of sulfuric acid, which will be equal to its weight divided by its molecular weight, which is 10 divided by 98.07. We get the answer 0.102 moles of sulfuric acid. Now we are aware of the fact that 100 ml of solution is equal to 0.1 liter of the solution. So we can calculate its molarity, which is denoted by capital M, is equal to the number of moles divided by the volume of solution in liters. We know the number of moles is 0.102 and the volume of solution in liters is equal to 0.1. So the molarity will be 1.02 moles per liter. This is our final answer. The next method for expressing the concentration of a solution is molality. Molality can be defined as the number of moles of a solute present in 100 grams or 1 kilogram of a solvent. It is denoted by small m. Please keep in mind that molarity is denoted by capital M and molality by small m. Its general formula can be written as molality, that is small m, is equal to number of moles of solute denoted by small n divided by weight of solvent in kilograms denoted by capital W. Molality is considered a better way of expressing concentration of solutions as compared to molarity because molality does not change with change in temperature since the mass of solvent does not vary with temperature.